Hey, welcome to Jesus and Juice. And today I just want to expound more on the effects that binge drinking did have on my life. Now, yesterday I shared more about what effect it had on my personal life, okay, and those directly close to me, which was my family. At this point, when I had moved out of home, I moved into a house in somewhere, yeah, with a friend. But eventually down the road, because of my drinking, I was unable to keep up with the job that was supposed to be paying my rent. And eventually, things just started falling apart. I just started drinking more and more. And when I was fired from the job, I just sank into this depression, okay? And at that time, I expected a lot of support, especially from my friends at this time. But, I think because of what I was going through, I feel like they didn't want to impose as well. They really didn't know what to do with me, because the more they tried to reach out, the more I pushed them away. And that's something that actually happens with people who are dealing with such issues, okay? We tend to push people away because either we don't want to share with them what's happening with us because it's shameful, or it could come from a place of pride, okay? Now, at this point, I was evicted from the house, and I really didn't know where to go. So at first, I started hanging out at at these watering holes that I used to frequent, bars I used to frequent. There's a little popular hangout somewhere in Chiwatule where lots of people would start drinking from like 10 a.m., okay? So, I would go spend a lot of time there from during the day. I'd be smoking and drinking with people. And, when it clocks about 2 in the night, 3 in the night, people start leaving. And then when people would leave, I would get up and walk to the next bar, which is along that beer belt of Chiwatule, Nigeria. That place has so many bars, so you would never run out of places to sit and pass time. And it kind of just became a norm. Okay, first of all, I had a high tolerance for alcohol, so it was easy for me to sit in a place and pass time and drink without getting drunk. At this point, this was about 2017. Okay, now, I would sit in a bar. What would happen is I would sit in a bar, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and people are first of all, you're a lady, okay? You're in a bar, you're smoking your cigarettes. Let's say with my last 500 shillings in my bag, I had bought cigarettes from the side of the road, and they're what's keeping me occupied. I would be passing time on my phone. I look like I'm busy, okay? I'm passing time. And, I'm a lady, so guys would walk up to me and hey, how are you? Can I buy you a drink? I'm like, yeah, sure. And because I think I had my glasses, I looked like a serious chick, okay? So people would buy me drinks and leave me alone. So I used to drink my Nile Special at that time. So guys would come and buy me Nile Special. They're like, oh, you smoke? What do you smoke? And I'm like, I smoke this and this brand. And they'd buy me a pack. And they're like, enjoy your evening. So that's how I would be. I would have drinks flowing. I would have cigarettes flowing just for that fact. So I would sit in a place until that place closes. Let's say it's 5 or 6 a.m. Then at around 6 a.m., if I had some money in my bag, let's say 1,000 shillings, I would board a taxi from Chiwatule to Ntinda stage. Now, around that time, it's coming to life. So places like internet cafes are open. I would go to a restaurant, ask to use their bathroom. I would dry clean, dry wash, change. I had a handbag. I would walk around with a handbag, like a normal handbag. And in that bag were 2 pairs of jeans, I think 2 shirts and a skirt. So I would just be changing clothes like that. And I would go to Ntinda, and I would sit at an internet cafe, okay? Now, I would have no money. So what I would do is I would sit at an internet cafe and open Facebook, go to Facebook Messenger, start inboxing my friends, I'm now reaching out to my friends who I used to drink with, people I know who are my friends, okay? And I would tell them, hi, it's Che. Can you help me with 20K? Can you help me with 10K? The truth is I literally had no money, okay? But because of the high rate of Facebook scammers, people would be like a lot of people. Some people would send me money. Other people, close friends of mine, would be like, this is a scam. Che, how can Che ask for money? And then I would be like, it's me. I'm typing and I'm like, it's really me. No, ask me any question. And they're like, no, please. And they would leave me hanging. Meanwhile, I've gone to the internet cafe. The more time I spend, the more the money is counting. So I would be in an internet cafe from 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. And you know, all those hours, remember you're counting, let's say it's 1,500 an hour. So from 7 to 5 is 10 hours, okay? So that's already 15,000. So if at the end of the day, one person accepts, let's say they've sent me 20,000, I have to remove 15,000 for the cafe, and I've remained with what? 5K. So in that 5,000, of course, there's no time for food. Of course, there's no food. That money is budgeted for cigarettes and for tots, waraji, or like Empire. I remember that I used to like Empire at that time. Then I would walk, okay? The 3,000 or the 2,000 that is left, I'm going to use it later on. You know, it's now emergency money. It's in my pocket. I'm very smart with my glasses, with everything. I'm walking. I walk again from Tinda back to the car hangout in Chiwatule. And that's how, I would go. That's how I lived my life every day. You know, the night would come, the day would go. But now, of course, time started to pass and things became harder and harder. I had to sell off my phone. I had no form of communication because I'm like, why do I have a phone? I can't put data on it. I can't put airtime on it. Nobody wants to call me anymore because now I had become a nuisance. At this time, there were stories going around. My friend actually called me and told me, Che, she actually sent me a Facebook inbox and she was like, Che, I'm getting stories of people saying you're asking for money. Che, what's going on? And you know, I really couldn't open up and say, man, I'm really hustling because you know, how would people see me? Like, how would people take it? But I really was in a very hard place. Eventually, people around me who I used to drink with began to notice. First of all, I started repeating clothes. I was wearing the same clothes every 2 or 3 days. Then I had one pair of shoes, which I would never change. Also, you know, I had reached a point where, you know, I had started losing a lot of weight. Someone actually reached out and said, Che, there are stories going around that you're on drugs. I really wasn't on drugs. It was just, I had, the alcohol had now killed my appetite for food. I never wanted to eat. Plus, also, I was in a hard financial situation. Food is not on the budget, okay? It's now, I wanted alcohol and cigarettes. That's how I was getting by. I was either unconscious or drunk, one of the two. I didn't want to be sober. I didn't want to face reality. And, you know, it really took a toll on me. I started losing so much weight. None of my clothes could fit me anymore. My skin became so ashy. So I looked so terrible. My hair, first of all, I have natural hair. Beautiful, voluptuous natural hair. My hair became a shaggy mess. I had no money, not even for treatment, okay? Not even to buy a hairbrush to keep it in place. So remember, first of all, I'm an avid drinker. I'm going out, I'm dancing, I'm sweating. In the morning, I look like a mess. I reached a point where I stopped caring, okay? Even freshening up now, where you find me is where you find me. Now, there's a bar that opened up around Chiwatule as well. Now, for it opens at 6 in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning. When other bars have been closed, it opens at 6. Now, in the Chiwatule, Nigeria area, if you've been drinking till morning, that is your place to go when they chase you from where you've been drinking. So we would go there, and as luck would have it, I ended up getting a gig as a DJ there. So, yeah, imagine this place, like I have a place to hang night, day, and then also I'm a female DJ, okay? I was just like an amusement attraction to people. Like, wow, she plays music, she can drink, she smokes, she's cool company. So, you know, it kind of like the environment and the situation just enabled my habit even more. And I remember I got into a situation where I met a guy at this place and he offered me a gig. He was like, I have a bar that's opening in Chanja. Can you come and play? Listen, at this point, it was like, I think it was a Friday. I had been drinking 3 days straight, okay? Straight liquor, 3 days straight. And I hadn't slept. And that's what my pattern was. I had nowhere to, I would go, we used to call them Jack Bowers, 24 hours without sleeping. So I would go 24 hours Jack Bowers without sleeping and while drinking. Now here, I had a taste for beer and for waraji, okay, UG, straight, plain. I never used to punch it. So I would drink for like 3 days, and on the 4th day is when my body would shut down. I would go 3 days. And I remember this one situation. I went to play at this guy's bar, and we get there, and I was so intoxicated. I remember as soon as I reached, the guy asked me, would you like to eat something? Because I'm sure I looked hammered. And he says, would you like to eat something? And I said, no, I'm straight. Just get me waraji. And he kept buying me waraji, and I was drinking it off the bottle. So I get into the DJ booth to play, and I kid you not, the last thing I remember was putting my hands on the mixers to play. And the next thing I knew, I opened my eyes, the sun was up, and I looked next, and there was a man lying next to me. This had never happened to me, where I black out and I wake up in a strange environment, okay? So I turn to see this gentleman. He's sleeping. It was a mattress on the floor. I couldn't recognize the place. The sun is up and I'm wondering, where am I, okay? And then I turn to see the door. It was a really small room. It was really stuffy. And I asked myself, what am I doing here? What happened last night? And at this point, I had built so much tolerance. Amnesia was really not a thing. So for me to have had amnesia at that time, I really had drunk a lot. So I get up to open the door, and then the guy wakes up and he sees me and he's like, where are you going? And I'm like, please open this door. I don't know who you are. I couldn't recognize the guy. I said, I don't know who you are. Please open this door and let me out. And then he's like, do you know what the time is? Like, where are you going at this time? Now I get in panic mode and I start screaming while banging on the door. And as I'm banging on the door like this, I felt a hand go around my neck and put me in a chokehold.